Another program we'll be following on High School Sports Weekly, the reigning champions in Class 7A of Alabama High School football. That's the Thompson Warriors. Coach Mark Freeman's squad was able to get to the pinnacle of our state's highest classification a season ago, and they will go from being the hunter to the hunted this year. Coach, I'm going to start off asking you what I ask you off air. How many times a day do you pinch yourself when you walk out to a facility like this one?
Well, we're obviously blessed to have it. It's a great thing. It saves a lot of time as far as our preparation for practice. And, you know, you don't deal with grass cutting, you don't deal with mowers and all the little things that for 15 years you worry about as a coach. And so time-wise planning is a lot better. And then just to have the games on Friday night, this place has been so exciting over the last years. That every team that comes in here in our region, they bring a big crowd, and to have the facilities is really a blessing to us.
So you and I grew up in the same place. So when I ask you to go back and to picture Clements Field at Fairfield High School, that when you drive past it on Valley Road, it had a similar feel, I know, for a child, because it did for me. Yeah. But it really, it's a long way from there to get to here.
It is, but Chris, here, I remember being a kid, like you said, and growing up in Fairfield, watching your brother, Jimmy Nipper, Big O, James Owens, and all them guys. We would be at the stadium on Friday night as kids. We'd be in the far end of Clements Field down there playing football as kids, and then when the game started, we all went to the bleachers and we watched. And back in the day, when Coach Lutz and Jimmy Fuller and all them guys was at Fairfield, and you went to those stands, I can't imagine the feeling I had is much different. The facilities are nicer, of course, but just as a young kid growing up, and at that time Fairfield High School was that's what we grew up with, and to have that experience, and hopefully our people having the experience of coming here to that and transitioning from where we were back in those days. We, in our mind back there, man, we thought we were blessed to get to Fairfield High School on Friday night and watch all them guys play. And I think we've lost a lot of that with young people now. The video games, the phones, all that stuff. And I know as an older guy, I miss that. And everybody I talk to that's been coaching for 15, 20 years, we all miss that part of the home field, the things that went with game days and stuff like that. So, but we are blessed, and it is a special atmosphere here on game night.
Right. So when you were there, and I know it's easier to look back now on it, but did you know you wanted to coach back then?
I had no idea. I met a gentleman that taught me to get my real estate license, and God had that planned. I didn't understand at the moment, but that's where I eventually met my wife, was in real estate, and she was a game changer for me for her to put up with me. I had to decide what I want to do in life. But I didn't know I wanted to be a coach until my daughter was a youth cheerleader. And Bob Morris, a guy I worked with at the car dealership, called me and said, hey, they need a coach down there. And so me and Bob went and coached youth ball, and I thought, man, this is pretty good. And then I started working with quarterbacks, some on the side, and before I knew it, Bessemer Academy came and wanted me to give me a situation down there, and that's where it took off. That's where coaching the youth league with her, and then as Corey and my daughter cheered in high school at McAdory, when I went to the games, it was like torture, because I knew God was drawing me. I knew when we passed the school bus, I could tell my wife, I could feel my body out of body. I'm supposed to be on that bus. That's my life. I'm supposed to be impacting the kids. And so I told my wife we need to pray about it. So when Corey graduated, coming up her senior year, she was going to graduate, we had prayed about it. My wife told me, she said, hey, you know what? I'm with you. And we were in a blessed living. I was in the automobile business. I was in some management situations. We were really blessed at what we were doing. So it was a big decision, but we made that decision. And by then, coaching the youth ball and watching my daughter cheer, I knew that I had missed my calling back years ago. And God, thank God, you get that part of your life where you decide the road you're going to live as opposed to God's perfect will. And I was blessed because God allowed me to get back into that perfect will that I feel was my perfect will all along.
So you're at Bessemer Academy, and you don't just have success, you have the ultimate success. You win multiple state championships, and you build that into a program that's as good as there is in the AISA. But I know this, having graduated from a private school that won some games in basketball, people always go, yeah, but can you do it there? So you get an opportunity, you head to the beach and you're coaching, and you win again. Tell me about what led you to take the job down on the coast and kind of start what was a phenomenal run there.
Gulf Shores called, and there again, it was a Fairfield guy, David Jones, who contacted me and said, hey man, this is a perfect situation, come talk to us. And so we went down there, and it was a great challenge. You know, it was that next challenge. What can we go do that nobody thinks we can do? So going to Gulf Shores was that driving force about, hey, they say we can't do this. That was my force. You know, you need something in the morning on them bad days. My driving force was these coaches running their mouth about, hey, we can't do this. And it was personal at that point. And so we did, you know, God bless us there, and we had good success at Gulf Shores. And in the meantime, Dr. Vickers had called me about up here, and I knew my family probably wasn't crazy about moving back to Birmingham, but it was God's next challenge. That, hey, here's your one. You want a challenge? That's that regional fair where, you know, you go in and all these great coaches and all these great teams. There's your challenge. Go see if you can you go up there and make that team competitive against what everybody calls the SEC West up here. So that's the next morning. You go to work. What drives you to work? People say we can't do this. You know, early on, there was a thing called AL.com where people could get on there at 2 o'clock in the morning and make these comments. Well, one of them made a comment that they can bring in whoever they want to bring in. That place, it'll be 5 years before they could ever talk about making the playoffs. Well, I had one of my coaches at the time said, Coach, I just wanted you to see this. I didn't read them comments at that point, but we took a picture of it. I put it on the dash of my car every day coming to school. It'll be 5 years before that bunch can ever even think about the playoffs. And that drove me here every morning. You know, that guy's wrong. So we just, there's a way that we feel like going in. You gotta lay that groundwork to be successful. And it can, and in my heart, it'll work everywhere, because it's a transformation of the kids, it's a transformation of the program, it's a transformation really too of where people are used to getting beat, and almost, they do care, but you're almost numb to getting beat. My principal said it, he said, you know, you gotta face the fact that losing can become numb. And you know, you don't wanna lose, but you don't think you can win, you know, or there's some gray area in there. So coming here was that next, can we do this? And then, man, God's blessed us. Year 4, we're playing for state championship. Year 5, we win it. And so I know that's a long answer, but man, what a blessing it's been. Everywhere we've been, God's blessed us to take something that people on the outside said, that's not gonna be done, and we've been able to do that basically everywhere we've been. And I truly understand it's God doing it and praying and getting in His will where He wants us to be.
So tell me what it's in your mind. What do you think it's going to look like for you this year?
I think defensively, we got a chance to be good. We got to replace 2 big old guys on the defensive line, Montage Cook and Damon Ubo, who were really great players for us. We got to replace them, got some experience back. So I think defensive front and also the quarterback. If I have to tell you quickly, if our quarterback can come along and run the game like we asked our quarterback to run it, I think we're going to have a chance to be pretty good there. And so the quarterback's got to get there, and our D-line's got to get there. And then we got a lot of good players on special teams. We got to replace them.
We appreciate the time from Coach Freeman and look forward to following the Warriors throughout the course of the year.